Okay, check this out. Take a good look at the palm of your hand. You might see some freckles or some wrinkles, but get this. Right now, in the palm of your hand, there are millions and millions of tiny creatures. You can't see them or feel them. They are way too tiny for that. But trust me, they're there. They're hanging out, eating, crawling all over your skin. Sounds kind of creepy? Well, it kind of is. But these tiny creatures, we call them bacteria, are actually super important. Now, bacteria, they're not just on our hands. They are all over our bodies. They're in our bodies. They're on everything. On doorknobs, chairs, tables, you name it. There are tons of different types of bacteria. There are 500 different types in our mouths alone. Now, some types of bacteria are bad, and they can make us sick if they get inside us. But even though they sound kind of creepy, most bacteria are actually really good. They help us by doing jobs that are really important. For example, bacteria, they're like nature's cleanup crew. Have you ever been walking around and seen some dirty, nasty, rotting garbage on the ground? It's pretty gross, right? But for a bacteria creature, rotting garbage is like the most delicious treat in the world. The bacteria that live on that rotting garbage, they make it rot. By eating it, they munch and munch and munch away until that garbage totally breaks down and turns back to dirt. For us, it gets rid of the garbage, and for the bacteria, it provides a tasty treat. So if bacteria are so tiny, how can we see them? How do we know they exist? Well, have you ever used a magnifying glass to look at something really small? Scientists have a tool that's basically a fancy version of a magnifying glass. It's called a microscope. And they can use it to look at something, zoom in thousands and thousands of times, and see the bacteria that are on it. And when they look at bacteria, they find out that they have all sorts of bizarre shapes. Some bacteria are round, like beach balls. Others are twisty, like a piece of curly hair. And some are covered with fur and slime. Bacteria come in all sorts of crazy colors, too. There's another way that scientists can look at bacteria. They can get them to make giant cities. Seriously, one bacteria creature is pretty tiny, but a giant crowd of billions and billions of bacteria, that's so big that you can actually see it with your eye without a microscope or a magnifying glass. It's kind of like if you're flying in a plane and you're looking down. You probably can't see just one person, they're too small, but you could see a big crowd or a city. So to get bacteria to build these giant crowds, scientists can take a couple single bacteria creatures, put them on a piece of food they really like. They're going to eat and munch, and they're going to have babies. And then the bacteria's babies are going to have babies, and the babies' babies are going to have babies. And pretty soon, you get millions and billions of bacteria making a big city on that food. Sometimes a city can be about this big. Plenty big for us to be able to see with our eyes. So that's just a little bit about this amazing world of bacteria that's all around us, but too small for us to see.